What's up? My name's Isaiah. This is a video for overclockersclub.com, and today we are going to investigate how much a video card actually takes in power and what's the best way to look that up, because there's many ways to do it, a lot of articles on it, but it seems everybody has different ideas of what is the correct way. Now, I'm not saying I have the right way, I'm just saying I found a way that's very accurate. And we're going to see here that we're looking at TechPowerUp's GPU-Z, and they have actually added voltages right here. It wasn't there in the past, but the newest version has power requirements and all that, which is a nice way of telling you offhand through software what your computer is pulling as far as the video card goes. Now, rumor has it the new NVIDIA cards coming out here in September, the 3000 series or Ampere or whatever they want to call it. Those are rumored to draw a lot of power. The new connector is rated for 600 watts, which means that, potentially you can pull a lot of power. So I'm going to show how I am testing the voltages and testing the current. I'm going to compare it to CPU-Z and see which one is actually accurate, because I have a feeling that software is usually inaccurate, but in this instance, CPU-Z might be reading off of the VRM controller, which means it'd be very accurate as far as informational concern. So let's set this up and get to it. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit funky. There's not much space for me to sit or do anything, but so I have this is going to read my current, and it's going to be a little bit hard to do, but we'll do our best to do it. I know if it's still on camera. It is. Okay, let's turn it like this. So what I'm going to do is, you can probe the pins like through here, but I found it doesn't always work very well to jab it in there. But you can read directly off the pins on the back. Now, unfortunately, there's a plate here. So instead of just reading one pin to other pin, I can't. I have to click in here and there. So let's turn this on. And this should be providing 12 volts, especially at idle. There's no drop off unless you have a broken, unless you have a power supply that's going out, you should probably always have 12 volts when nothing's being pulled on it. So let's go ahead and see what we're getting. Low voltage. Oh, okay, I have it set for 2 volts. Let's try this again. Alright, 12.14. This is about 3% off. It can be up to, and this also has 3% variance. And to save some time, I did the same test with this and I got the same result. So it tells me that both these are pretty close to being accurate. Now, we're not doing any rocket science here, so we don't want to, it's not that we need to be super accurate. 12.14. Okay, so now I have a desktop recording of what is going on, so I can kind of overlay it with this. And it is telling me this at idle, which I think we already established, 12.11. And it's only 12.2. So it seems that, from my notice, that the software is 0.1 volt higher. Now, I don't think it might be wrong, it might not be wrong, but it's probably reading off the VRM controller, which you think is more accurate than this little pokey thing, but I don't know. So let's put a load on it and see what we get out of it. It should be very similar. And that's also part of my discussion after we poke at it and see if CPU-Z is correct. Sometimes using extension cables like this is not a good idea because they're thin wire and you actually have a very large voltage drop. I'll kind of show that after I'm done with this. It's like a spoiler at the end of the video, I guess, if anybody wants to stick around. Ow. 11.84, and this says 12.9. And it jumped back up. So 12.9, I'm reading, it's a hard pin to do, 11.84. And it's saying 12 again. So it seems to be off 0.1, 0.2, depending on. So now we know what this is, and I feel like if I can keep it 11.84. So let's leave that there. And let's clamp it. So if we just turn this little clamping thing on, I'm going to go to 20 amps. So let's set it to DC. And this will tell me my current. And of course, you have to get the right pin. So these three and these three are my current. And I don't know if that's even on camera. It's not on camera. Well, let me find a way to get this on camera. 10.82. And then if we stab this again, which is probably the whole reason why I moved it over. $11.83. So if we go on our trusty little calculator, we can find out what I'm getting. So 11.84. Oh, amps. 11.84. Our current is, well, let's go with 10.8. 10.8, which gives me a reading of 127 watts, and the 8 pin is reporting 132 watts. And the reason why is that if I change this to 12, you get really close. So as far as margin of error goes, we're looking at 10 watt total difference. 135, and I got 11.4. Yeah, anywhere 5 to 10 watt difference, which is not horrible. That's really hot. Ooh, that's really hot. Well, let's not do that again. 11.84. And then if I drop the little clamps on it again. And let's go 10.8. Seems to be pretty right. Oh, fine. 10.84 maybe. So it's going into 3% variation, I guess I would say. 5%. Now if I were to clamp the whole thing, we're going to find out how much power this totally draws. It's going to be a little bit weird to do, because I need to clamp these two together. I'm drawing 15.10. And we're assuming the bottom is also 11.84. And you know, before they did this video, I probed it and it was the same. So we're going to keep it with that. Oh, I forgot what this is. 15 point something? 15.10? 15.10. 15.10. And the total power job is 174. And this thing tells me the board power draw is 187 or so. Go ahead and lock this, get the maximum power out of this card. And we'll see if it actually goes. I hope it's not going to be too loud, but it's going to crank up. It's now telling me it's drawing 190. Let's go higher than this. So maybe I need to do 2K to really tell it to draw more power. And once again, combustor is kind of a benchmark / stability test. You're not going to pull this amount of power in games usually, but it's the worst case scenario, and it's telling me that the whole board is drawing 196. And this whole board is gonna draw Let's just go with 16. So if I go with 16, I get 189. And once again, if I probe it, we're going to see what we get out of this. $11.81. So we are very close. And to be honest, this probing is hard to do. So if I leave this clamp on, let's go with 15. Total power draw would be 183. And this is telling me roughly it's been 198. Anyway, so that is that part of it. So let me actually give you a little sneak peek here what I'm talking about when it comes to voltages and drop off. Here I have this cable, and this is actually what made me prompt me to do the video in the first place, because I was doing this for, you know, the review stuff, and then I was seeing really bad drop off. What was that? Oh. Let's turn this off too. For now. So I was seeing really bad drop off, and I was like, well, the software is telling me it's 11.3 volts, and that's not accurate. And what I was using was actually this originally, which is a 6-pin to dual 8, and the only reason I was doing that is because I wanted to power the board with the same cable as top, so I only had to read the power cables like this. So this is much easier to see which ones I have to pull on, where this I have to trace them. So being lazy was like, I can just get all the yellow cables, I can just clamp onto them like so, and I don't have to even worry about which one I'm grabbing out there. Come to find out, when I use this cable, my voltage drops to 11.1. And then eventually computer crashes because it's too low a voltage. And I was thinking, well, is my power supply that low? I really didn't think a cable like this could go that low. This is supposedly 18 gauge wire, which should be adequate for this low amount of power, but apparently when you start pulling 15-16 amps through it, it drops dramatically. So don't ever use extension cables like this. And also, kind of word of warning is that these are actually cable mods. Well, this is Fantex cable extensions. But say you're buying them from Cable Mod or anything like that, I'm not saying they're a bad company. You just have to watch out for subpar versions of that. So I think Cable Mods is probably good. But you buy on eBay or whatever, and you're just buying an extension cable because you want the color of it, you'll find out that inside the sleeve might be a really thin cable like this, or thin wire I should say, and then you have a large voltage drop off. So you might be finding that your computer is crashing, or you think you have a bad power supply when really it's just your extension cable that you're using. And I guess just rambling that, let me prove my points. I'm going to stop this video, swap out cables, and we'll do the voltage reading again. You'll see that it's going to be like 11.1 volts. Now remember, this is 11.84, which is pretty good, especially with, you know, already having extension cables attached to it. Okay, so I have it now wired up the way I was explaining the first time I did it, which kind of prompted me to make this video in the first place. I just have all of it going to a single cable splitting down to the board and down to here. And so a 6-pin to dual 8-pin, quote unquote. Really, the extra 2 pins are always ground, but those help with current. So if you don't have those extra pins, you can't drive as much current. But anyways, these are thin wires, and let's go ahead and find out what the current is. And now we're going to be on idle. I believe idle is not bad. It's really when you crank it up. Let's go flip wires around. Oh, I'm on 200. That's too much. 12.09. Now it's fine on idle. So let's go ahead and crank it up. Now, I'm probably just lying. as you're probably thinking. How dare you? Let's go ahead and... I wasn't going to record this originally, but it is easier to show on video. So the board's reading 12.1, I'm reading 12. And now we throw it here. Once it loads up and goes, look at that, 11.6 is what it's telling me now. And it actually will eventually crash the computer, so you gotta be quick about it. 11.4. That's low. So let me stop this before it crashes. So there you have it. If you run an extension cable that's subpar. Alright, so thanks for checking out this video. If you want to see more content like this, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.